everybody. This is Miss Wallene, and I want to welcome y'all to my kitchen this afternoon. I'm going to take y'all through the basic canning process of some vegetables that came from my garden. I have purple hull peas, I have squash, I have butter peas, I have string beans, I have a soup mix here that consists of okra, corn, and tomatoes that came from my garden. I also have some tomatoes that I'm going to can. We're going to can some okra, and we're going to can some corn. And because the process of this is so long, I went on and prepped the cut their vegetables up. I like to cut my squash up in little chunks because they fit better in the jar. And shell the peas and all that, because the process would take too long to take you through all that. All y'all know how to shell peas. And this is the corn. I cut it off the cob. We know how to do that. And shell the peas and the okra. I picked the okra this morning and did all of that, so we could get this process started. Okay, we go over here. We will start by right over here. What we got here is the sterilization of the jars. I decided to use paint jars instead of the quart jars, and the reason is that we could can more. I could show you more things that I can than I would with the quart jars. So that's what we're going to use. Over here is the things I use to can, and this right here is the set. It's another set that I have that hadn't been opened. It contains everything you will need to do what I'm ready to do. So that's that. And this is a jar right here. This is a box right here. It got the lids. This is the lid that goes on the jar, and this is the rim that goes on that. So you would buy that to go on your jar. So we're going to go over there, and we're going to take those jars out of that sterilization bar. They have to boil in this hot water. They have to actually boil for 5 to 10 minutes. And the lids and rim have to boil along with them. So we're going to take them out, and then we're going to start filling the jars. It goes like this, so bear with me. We're going to take the rims out. We take the rims out first, and this got a little magnet on it, so that helps a lot. Whoever thought that up was thinking using their head. So we're going to take all of those out, as many as we can, and then we can get down to the jars. Stack that here. And how y'all doing today? Y'all gonna have to bear with me, because this is the first time I've done something like this. But like I said in my video, in my post this morning, my spirit told me that it was time for me to go ahead and show y'all how to can. Y'all need to know how to do this so y'all can put some food away to take care of your family. Now y'all got to be real careful when you're doing this, because this here water is boiling hard. So you have to be very, very careful with it. Take your time. Make sure there's no children or pets or anything like that near your stove when you're doing this. So here we go. We're pouring the water out. And this here grips it real well. So you pour it out real slow and being careful with it. Make sure you focus on what you're doing. Don't have no distractions. Here we go. Now this one here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to start setting them over here, because we're going to do the filling of the jars over here. So I'm going to set them over there, so because it's getting too cluttered over here. And it's hot even still. Here we go. And we got some more down in here. Gotta get those out. Like I said, it's a time-consuming process. It can't be done quickly. Set that up, and set that one up. And here we go. I'm just going to take it on over there. If any water falls on the floor, we'll get it up later. I'm going to take them over there and sit them so they can get ready to start putting these vegetables into these jars. And like I was saying, I already washed and prepped everything so that you all could see. And I'm sure all y'all know how to snap the beans and cut the corn off the cob and do everything that I've already done. And I got my canner on here. It got boiling water into it, and I'm going to show you just by how far that water should be up there in that canner, because the canner can't from steam. It's not a whole thing full of water. It does it from the steam and pressure. That's why they call it a pressure canner. Got one over here that I got to turn over. This is the last one, and then we'll get the other lids and everything out, and we'll go. We'll be ready to go. How about that? All y'all down here in my kitchen. I just love it. I got some folks watching me. Let me get my little magnet. Here we go. Here we go. Now. And y'all gonna be surprised, this is not as hard. It's not as hard as y'all think. And I'm sorry if I'm not making eye contact. Like I said, this is the first time I've ever done this.
It ain't the first time you did that.
It's the first time I've been live. I've canned several times before, but it's the first time I've been live. Y'all got my son over here critiquing me, so y'all know how I gotta do all of that. So here we go. I'm gonna take these here legs over there where those jars are. Here we go. I'm gonna sit these here. I'm gonna put them here so they'll be on something that I know is clean. I made sure that was washed and clean before I started. Take this. And this here dipper is my mama's dipper. And I use it whenever I'm canning. So it's been in the family a long, long time. So that's why that's there. Even if I don't have a dip nothing with it, I still have her with it. So we're going to start. The first thing we're going to do, that one. Here we go. That's 6. That's 2. We're going to start by, what did I do with that green? What did I do with it? There it is. We're going to start with this. And I'll take a jar. I'll take this jar. And we're going to go over here. The jar is still real hot. So we'll go over here, and what we're going to do is that I'm going to take this here with a strainer on it. And I'm going to go over here. You don't have to have a strainer on it, but it works better for me. And we put the purple hull peas into the jar. It's so much better because they don't waste. You got this wide lip on it. And you can go ahead and get them in there. So that helps out a lot. And then I can go over here and put it over the sink like this. And I can drain that in there and not waste any of that. And then put that back over there and go back over here. And see, that's the jar of that. Now what I need to do with this jar is that I need to take it over here to where this hot water is. And that's when I use Mama's dipper. I take this over here and I set this down, and then I take the water from this pot. This here needs to go down a little bit. Maybe there's a bit too much in there, so we don't want it too full. So I just shake off a little bit over there, of that. I say about that many peas. And then we're gonna come back over here, and I'm gonna get the hot water, the stir water, and I pour it in here and fill this here jar. I fill that jar until about that full. Not all the way full, because we don't want it too full. When that pressure get on, it'll blow if it was too full. Then I come over here, I get a lid, and I get a rim. I go back and I make sure that this top of this here and the rim of this is wiped clean, because you want it to make a tight seal. You don't want nothing to be in the way. So that one is sealed. When that one is sealed, here we go. This one is sealed. This is our jar. You all have seen, and now you know how to can a jar of purple hull peas. We're going to put it over here into the pressure cooker. Plus I'll take a picture of how the height of the water in there so they see how much water in there. See, it's not that much water in there, so the water is just at the bottom there. The steam itself is going to take care of that. So when I get it filled, I get everything in the jars, then we're going to put the top on. Here we go with the next. The next will be Dip her at. We're gonna go with the squash. And put them in there, and I cut them in little cubes like this instead of slices like I used. No, when I cook them, I cut them in slices, but because they fit better in the jar, they pack better in the jar like this. So I cut them in these little cubes, and then I because they're like wedges, I make sure like that, and then I fill it on up with the squash. Take it on up. Making sure, see, to go down a little further, but that right there is all the full I wanted. And then I'll take this one over there. And I know I didn't put a teaspoon of salt in that first one, but everybody in my family don't, my husband is on a salt restriction diet, so that was the reason I didn't put salt in that one. But the others, there's supposed to be a half a teaspoon of salt put in each jar. And they say get sea salt. They say if you don't get sea salt, it'll cloud. Make the liquid in it cloudy, but it had never done that with me. So I just buy the regular non-iodized salt. We're going to clean the top of this off real well so it will stick like it's supposed to do. It will seal. I'll put the top on it. Make sure you got the top straight. Put the top on it. Make sure it's good and tight. And see, I can actually lift it down. And we're going to take it over here. See the squash? This is crookneck squash from my garden. We canned that. And then we line them up in there, putting them in there, not touching each other, but we're putting them in there. Now we're getting another jar. Coming over here. We're going to see, it's not as hard as y'all thought it was. Y'all can do this. Our ancestors been doing this for generations and generations, and y'all can do it too. We'll put the corn in here. You just bit this corn, just cut off the cob out of my garden. We're going to put that in there. Make sure you got it settled in there. And I got some extra corn because I didn't know exactly how that was going to fill all up. But we're going to fill that down. And see how it'll settle on down. But we want a little tiny bit more in this right here. And then we're going to do that with it. And the same thing, we put the half a teaspoon of salt. If you want salt, you don't have to put salt. But a paint, take a half a teaspoon. A quart jar, which is a jar this size. It's 2 paints in this. Make a quart. It will take a full teaspoon.
Got 2 questions, Mom.
Yeah.
Why do you put the cans inside the big pot after you put them inside the jar? Why you putting them inside this pot after you put them inside the jar? What's the purpose of that? What you gonna do?
Because when I get everything full, I'm gonna put all of them in there. I'm gonna put the pressure top on there, so they can actually can. They're not canning. I'm gonna put the top on there so they can pressure can. In the at the level of sea level that we are at, I got this. Where is that thing at? This here. This is what I put on top of that.
Hold it in your hand.
It's the top. It's tell how much pressure that pot gonna have to have. We have to have 10 where I live. That's a 10. Some people who are at that sea level, they have to have 15. Some 5. So this is what there is. If you need to call the county extension office, or you can probably go on your computer and look on there and find out what your sea level is, and then look on the can and that's how many pounds of pressure you need on the pressure canner to do your cooking. So that's what I'm doing. I'm putting them all in there. Then I'm gonna put the top on. What's somebody ask you that?
Yeah.
Did they understand?
Yeah.
She said she understood.
Yeah.
If you don't understand, just ask again. That's what we're here to learn. And see how pretty that is. Now you tell me that ain't some pretty looking corn. Y'all gonna make some of this. Y'all gonna make y'all some corn. Now here we go, Chef. We getting it going. I feel me coming on here. We gonna do this soup mix because I know y'all like soup. On them cold winter mornings, y'all can get up and just add some chicken broth. You don't want no meat in it. You can just add chicken broth if you're a vegetarian. But if you like meat, you can add some meat to it and Look at here. Look how pretty. That right there is so pretty. That is corn from my garden. That's okra, Norfolk okra, and that's sweet yellow corn from my garden. And this here is what I call soup mix. And I make it and have it on my shelf for my family. Look at that. Down to the last, it feels just perfect. See how pretty? That's soup mix. Okra, corn, and tomatoes. All from my garden. So we're going to take this over here. We're going to wipe this off first. And then we're going to put this half a teaspoon of salt in there. Like I said, you don't have to put it in there if you don't want to. We're going to put that over in there. And then we're going to go over here. I already wiped it off. So we're going to...
Is there a specific ratio of sugar to water in the pot?
There's no sugar in the pot. The vegetables themselves, I guess they got the sugar that they need. It's just they put that, if somebody wanted salt in their food, they would put that salt in there. You don't have to put anything in there if you don't want other than water.
Okay.
Now this right here, I don't really put any water in it because this tomato makes its own water. See, it's got its own liquid. So I didn't have to go over there and pour water into that.
Okay.
Tomato make the juice for the soup. And those right there, I got them in there because they already bathed. Okay, now let's see what we got.
Explain that about the pressure again. I think you need to go to tell them about the sea level part and looking it up and how to find out.
Because I got so many followers that live in different areas, different locations, the sea level, what they call the sea level, I guess the height of your land according to the sea, is different. And according to that determines where you have to turn this here pressure gauge to properly can this right here, so to kill any bacteria that will be in there. So if you lived at a sea level where they needed 15 levels of pressure and you put it on 10, there's a possibility that it might be canned, but it wouldn't kill all the bacteria. You understand what I'm saying? The steam have to be at 15 for you to kill the bacteria, where at me, my sea level says I can turn it to 10 to take care of everything I need down here. Did they understand?
Yeah, I think it'll help better when we get to putting the top on and they get to see you seal it.
Okay. Now we getting there. We're gonna do the actual tomatoes.
The jars don't have to be in a certain particular distance apart, just as long as they ain't touching, right?
They just don't need to be touching, because they might move and they'll click and some of them might break, so they don't just not touching.
Long as they don't touch it, they good.
Yeah, as long as they're not touching.
You don't have to season them.
Now, if you don't want to put no salt in there, like I said, a lot of people got high blood pressure and all that. You don't put that there. That's just something that, no, they tell you how much to put. I guess in case somebody want to put it so they wouldn't put too much. So that's what that's for. You could, if you wanted to do like low salt or salt free, you could actually put that in there and whatever you want to put, whatever seasoning. Because when I do the tomatoes, lots of times I put all kind of seasoning in there. I put like lemon pepper and different seasoning. I just season it to what we like. Here we go with that.
Yes, how long can you keep the canned food?
Canned food, they say it lasts up to a year. And then one site say it lasts a year to 18 months. But what canning does is that it allows you to can your produce where that season is going on, where you got all these vegetables down there, they're going, I got all that stuff down there. I can can it, and my family will have, if I can enough, my family will have enough food to last them until my next planting season and my next harvest comes. So that's what it does. It lasts that year. At least that year, but some people say up to 18 months. Now, I got some stuff over there that's longer than a year, so I know it does last longer than a year. But that'd be like the expiration date. They'll say a year.
Mm-hmm. So this is a pressure cooker, right, Mom?
This is a Mirror 22 quart pressure cooker. Pressure canner. It's not a cooker. It's a pressure canner. There's a difference in the pressure cooker and the pressure canner. The cooker is just for like cooking food that you cook for your family. It's a small pot. They got some big that do canning and cooking. But this is a pressure canner.
So
it's just for canning.
That's pressure canning.
Yeah, just for canning.
And the other smaller pot you use be for oxtails and neck bones and stuff.
Yeah, you hungry. Oxtails and neck bones and all that good stuff. Yeah, you got it. Let me wash this out, okay? We're gonna rinse this out here because it got that tomato in there. So, y'all got some more questions? Thinking the things y'all need to ask?
Oh my Lord! Oh no!
What happened?
I flipped the camera. Oh no!
Isn't that up?
No, it good. Go
Well,
ahead.
tell them I'm sorry about that.
They know I'm sorry. They know I ain't. Oh.
Can they hear you?
Yeah.
What they say?
I ain't say nothing.
Do they? Oh, they know you flipped the camera.
They started laughing.
Okay, here we go. Y'all, I thought my son had lost them. He's like, oh no. I'm like, oh my God, he done lost my followers.
Nah.
And he said he still got y'all. So y'all think of some stuff y'all need to add. These right here are butter peas. These are butter peas.
Well, nah, I ain't gonna talk on your video. Yeah, talk about the butter pea.
These are butter peas. These are, he's saying talk about the butter peas because these are his favorite peas. The butter peas are, what they do is they make a gravy like when you cook them. They're sort of taste like a lima bean, but they're better than a lima bean. They're just delicious. So if you have a place to plant a few hills of butter bean, you do that. In my hands, let me rinse your hands.
Butter pea, not butter beans.
Yeah,
it's
I'm
a
sorry.
difference.
They are butter peas.
A lot of folks get them confused and
They
they're
are
not the
butter
same.
peas.
If butter pea is your favorite pea, you gonna know the difference. The butter bean is way bigger and it's buttery.
Yeah, you gonna know the difference.
But the butter pea is a complete different texture and taste.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. You're right. So this is the butter pea. And he can give you all the information concerning it. Like I said, 'cause this is his favorite pea. And it grows, it don't grow up on like a long, you don't have to put a terrace or anything up for it to run it. That's not a running plant. It's a bush plant. So even if you got a small pot, you could, if you got a small family, if you just plant a little bit.
Hold on, Mom. Not canning oxtails. I said that's a pressure canner that she's using, but the pressure cooker is a smaller version of that, and she cooks the oxtails in the pressure cooker. Not canning the oxtails. I didn't say that. I'm sorry if I did word it wrong. I apologize. You can go back, Mom.
You can't can oxtails.
I know, but
that's not what we're doing.
Yeah.
Put that on there. Just gonna put this here on here. Right here.
Is it too late to plant a garden?
No, it's not too late to plant. It's time for a fall garden, your second season. So you can plant plants that can grow. I said plant that will. You look on there and it said that it will mature like down here. Now, according to where you live, down here we still got plenty of time. But if it says that it will mature, if it says it will mature in 60 to 90 days or less, you got time to do it. If you still got if it's below freezing where you live for that long. In 90 days, if it won't be freezing where you live in 90 days, then you got time to plant these plants. Because these beans and everything, and butter peas and the purple herb peas, they will bear until the frost hit them. Now the tomato, they won't do that, but the beans will. So you still got time to plant like carrots, beets. You got time to plant peas, and you got time to plant squash. Cause squash they don't take that long for squash and zucchini to come, and cucumbers. You got time to plant vegetables like that. So you still got time to do that second garden. So a lot of people, they're applying up and getting ready to plant that second garden.
But really, honestly and truly, this day and age, it be hot and criminal. It really don't get cold like that no more.
You don't know about where they living at though.
I know. I'm just saying, like the weather real thrown off.
Yeah. So if you know your weather, if you got 90 days of less than freezing or chill, like down to 30, you still got time. 30s in the 30s, you still got time to plant a garden.
Where you get your seeds from?
I get my seeds from it's like a greenhouse, and y'all. It's very important that y'all get out there and try to grow and put up any and everything y'all can, because when I went over there to buy my seeds, the lady who sells the seeds, she sells the seeds every year, I bought my seeds the first time, and I went back the second time, and I noticed that the boxes that the seeds were in, she had turned the boxes upside down. And I asked her what. She said that her supplier that supplied the seeds said that the had sold out of that they were going to send her. So she was out, and that was just in the beginning of the growing season. Then I went to the next town in Monticello that I grew up in, to a place I was looking for some chicken, baby bitties. And that lady told me the same thing. She said, we're not getting any more seeds. So seeds are scarce. So if you can find something like Walmart or anywhere, go ahead and buy you some seeds. And even though they said they for like 2020, you can still plant those seeds come 2021. You might not get everything to come up, but most of those seeds will still come up. Now they won't do that like 2 or 3 years later, but they will do it for the next year. So it's time for y'all to get out there and get in this dirt and make a harvest for y'all family. Because I honestly believe there's going to come a time where, because I went to the grocery store, there's going to come a time where certain things we want are not going to be in the grocery store. And the stuff, this is just healthy. There's nothing, only thing I put in this stuff, and I like to say, you don't have to put no salt in there. So you don't have to put no preservative. This is just some beans and some water. There's nothing added to it. You know exactly what's there. You know it came out of your garden. You picked it, you planted the seed. You picked it with your hands. You tended it while it was growing, and you bring it in here and you put it in this jar and ready to put it on the shelf for your family. That can't get no better than that. And we shouldn't lose this art. That's what our ancestors did, our mamas and grandmamas and all that, how they took care of their family. Everybody did. It's a lost art. It's a lost art, and we need to get it back. We need to get all the things back that we used to do, because that's what made us who we are.
And you can also actually do the simplest thing. A lot of people don't think about it. Save your seeds. If you eat an orange, save your seeds. If you eat an apple, save your seeds.
Yeah, you're right.
And you can dry them out. And when you dry them out, tell them how to do it. Though we did that too.
Because I saw on several sites, followers they have those real large squash that have turned orange. Those squash right there, you can just put that somewhere and let it dry out, and you can. It is full of seeds. All the vegetables, they got seeds. Like if we didn't have seeds, I remember Mama, they would save like beans, shell the beans and save the beans, and they would plant theirs for the next year. So they would do that like that. They would save that seed. They would buy like tomato plants and stuff like that and onion, but they would save seeds.
Sorry about that.
Okay. We just about.
So sorry.
What's going on? Going out?
Nah, it's my phone. I don't want to hit it and mess it up.
What is it doing?
It was a notification.
You can't turn it off?
I don't want to try to and mess nothing up.
Well, y'all just bear with us. This is our first time, and we're trying to bring this to y'all, so just bear with us. He says he got these notifications coming in there, and he don't want to try to correct it because he don't want to lose y'all. So just bear with us, okay? This is the last jar. This is okra. Okra from my garden, and I put them down in there, like scrape it down, because I try to get as many in there as I can. I stuff them down in there like that. And I don't put them, like I said, crossway, because if I did, I couldn't get as many in there. So, and this will be like the fresh okra that you buy out of the store, like in the frozen, but this will be fresh. And everything that you grow in the garden tastes completely different than the store, even the frozen. Even if I freeze it and put it in my freezer, this in the jar tastes different from that in my freezer.
Oh my God.
Apologize to them, huh?
I already did. I apologize, y'all.
We're going to come back over here.
And yes, we do actually. We did that this year when she found out that seeds were scarce. That's when we started saving seeds. And when I eat my peppers, like we eat cayenne peppers a lot, I eat them with everything. Eat the seeds. I always cut my peppers or jalapenos or whatever type of pepper. I cut them in half and take the seeds out. The seeds is where the heat lies. So I take the seeds out, and I was saving those. And if you do that, you can always let them dry. Just sit them on a paper towel and let them dry out. You can tell the difference when they are dry, and then you can plant them, and they will produce Exactly.
Lots of plants. Tomatoes are all to do that. They will produce plants.
I tried to grow avocados, but I guess we need to be over in California.
Look at our okra. Look what you followers done did. Y'all done canned some okra. Ain't they pretty? Last, I'm putting this in here, and then we're gonna put the top on it. Let them see. We have 7. No, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got 8 jars in there. If they were quarts, we couldn't put but 7. But with this right here, you can put that many. And then you can buy a separator. It'll be just like this thing on the bottom. It's a little separator with holes in it, and you can sit it on top of there, and you can put, if your canner is tall enough, you can put a second layer on there just like you got down here, but they can't touch each other. So now what we're going to do,
pressure canner boiling. It's no season or nothing, and she's about to show you what you have to do.
Show them the pressure can, and it got like close and open on it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the top on here. Top goes on there. I got to make sure it goes down on there. It's down on there now. And then to close it, I got to bring it back to me. So I bring it back to me, and now, and when I push it, it won't go any further. It's closed. Okay, now, pretty soon steam going to start coming up through this here hole right here. So that's why I said, this right here is a long drawn out process. These here, once the steam start coming up, I got to put this on here, and like I said, because I need a 10, I got to put it on there as a 10. And then this thing will start making a little jiggling sign. After it make a little jiggling sign, that's when I start counting down the canning process. It takes, all the vegetables that I put in there has the same cooking time. They all have 30 minutes. From the time it starts jiggling and I put this on there, I start my countdown of 30 minutes. So that's what the time, that's why it's so takes some time. So we might have to, when I put this on here, we're going to talk, and I'm going to take y'all over there and show y'all different things in my house or different things over there on my canning shelf, and y'all can ask questions and all that. But when I put that on there, and after it does the 30 minutes, it got to cool. So possibly I'm going to do it and let it do 30 minutes so you can see what it's doing. And after it cool, my son might have to do a second video so y'all can see me take the top off of it and actually take the canning food out of it, because it will take like that for it to cool off and get this top off. It's gonna take another 30 minutes. So we're gonna do that right there, and we're gonna go from here before it's going over there, showing y'all my everything I got up there. And y'all ask me questions about anything, my life or whatever. Just ask me questions. I'm here to tell y'all anything I know. If I know it, I'll share it with you. So we're gonna go over here. We're gonna go over here across my kitchen. Y'all come on. I got a kitchen where I sit at. Show my sofa over there where I sit at, Prince. That's where I sit at and look at TV. So that right there. This is my little piece of hell. Okay, we come on over here. That's my wooden stove. My wooden stove right there. And we're coming on over here to this here shell. So if y'all got any questions about anything up here, this is what those purple whole peas are going to look like. They look like this. Let me show you. See how they got like a juice like in there? They're there, and the pressure has cooked them, so they already tender. So what you're going to be really doing is just pouring it like in a pot and like warming it up like you would a can of beans if you bought it from the grocery store. But the flavor is so special, so different.
Have you ever canned store-bought veggies?
No, I never can store-bought veggies, because see, they wouldn't be the same, because the store-bought veggies. Oh, you mean store-bought like fresh vegetables? That's what you refer to.
Go on, say what you were finna say, because you were finna say what I would have said.
No, I was thinking.
They asking it, have you ever bought produce from a store and canned it?
Yeah, you can go. I hadn't bought it from a grocery store, but I have went like to a farmer's market, because
why did you go to the farm?
What?
Okay.
To the farmer's market, the farmers bring it there. We have people up on the square where I live. They sell fresh produce up there from their garden. I go get stuff like that, but for it's like in the grocery store, like I don't really go get that, because I don't know how long the process been getting it from wherever and bringing it there, and sometimes it don't ripen. We ripen like those at the farmer's market or those up on the square would be.
And it's a complete different taste.
And right here, like I said, right here we got squash. And see how pretty and yellow that is? That is just beautiful. I didn't put any onions in these. Sometimes I put onions in them. And down here, right here, I heard a young lady ask about canning oxtail. So you can meat. This right here is beef. It's a beef stew. I had some extra beef, and what I did, this right here is just the thickness, like be on top of beef. But I had some extra chunks of beef, and I just canned it. But see, you can see the little chunks of beef. So all I would have to do, because I put seasoning in it, all I have to do is open this up, cook me some rice, and I'll probably cook some bell peppers and mushrooms with it, because we like bell peppers and mushrooms too, and mix it with this, and we would have a meal. So that right there, especially for working women, when you come home from work, how much time this will save to have this food ready for your family. For that soup mix that we made, this is what it's going to look like. See how pretty it is? And when after that canner get there, all the tops will be sunk down. That means that it's canned, they're sunken in. If any tops pop back up, that means that food is not sealed. So you will have to use that, put it in the refrigerator and go ahead and use that. That means it's not sealed. This right here, flat down and down and down, not popped up, that means it's sealed.
They asked, have you, oh, I missed it. Do you cook the veggies before you can them?
No, the steam itself in the pressure cooker, the pressure cooker, the pressure and the steam of that pressure cooker, they cook. Those vegetables are cooked when they come out of there. So like these peas were the color like those were when I put them in there. So then this is the color when they're cooked. These greens and I put them in there, and this is they just like greens when they come out of there. So that cooks it. This right here is string beans and got chunks of red potatoes in there. So that right there is the string beans and the red potatoes. So that right there is going to be
string beans and the red potatoes in that one?
Yeah, string beans and red potatoes. You see the string beans? And you see the chunks of potato, but they're red potatoes. See the chunks near the top, you see the chunks of potatoes.
Yeah.
So that's what that is. And over here, I got 1 jar of his special butter peas. And so you can see the thick of the gravy in there. You see the thickness of the gravy? It makes it on gravy. So this right here jar it does that. They raw and they come out looking like that.
So when you put the veggies or whatever the vegetables you just put inside the jars raw. When you put them inside the pressure cooker and the steam is cooking them and pressurizing them at the same time inside the jar.
Yeah, it's pressuring them, cooking them, and sealing them all at once. That's what it's doing. You got it. And like I said, these right here are preserves. Now preserves are not cooked in the pressure cooker. They're cooked in a water bath, just a regular pot with boiling water on the stove, because anything with all that sugar in it, they don't have to be cooked in a pressure canner. Also, you can cook tomatoes in a water bath because it got so much acid in it. So tomatoes will seal just in a regular water bath. They don't have to be put in that canner. But I put them in the canner because I had them with everything else. But you can can tomatoes in a water bath, and you can make preserves in the water bath. Anything with sugar in it, you can make it in the water bath.
Do you reuse your lids?
Let me show. Let me go over here. Let's walk over here. Y'all asking some great questions. Great questions. I can tell, look at that. Y'all interested. I like that. This part right here. Right here. That better go in the jar. This is going to seal. Once it's sealed, it'll be down like that.
Pressure so they hear the popping noise.
It'll be like that. You'll hear that noise when it's sealed. It'll be down. But once if you can make this noise after you took it out of that pressure canner, like I'm doing my finger, that means it's not sealed. You don't supposed to be able to get no kind of noise out. It's supposed to be down like that and nothing, just like that. That's sealed. But what I'm saying is that once it's sealed, you can take this rim off because it's sealed by this if you wanted to. You can reuse this, but you can't reuse that. And you can buy these right here just by themselves. But when you buy this right here, it's going to be in a set like this with this. It's going to come in a set like this. But you can buy this right here just in a little pack. See if I have a pack here.
Where can you get them from?
They in the grocery stores. They like this right here.
So they in the grocery store?
Okay, if you go over there where they got the can and stuff in the grocery store, you can find them in Walmart. Walmart got them. Any hardware stores you have them, but it'd be 12 in a pack, like this, like that. 12 in a pack. And so the thing my mom and them did to save money when I was growing up, they would just seal everything, and once it's sealed, they would take these off and just use this over and over. Use this here over and over again, and they just bought these right here. But I don't do that. I keep my jar. I keep these right here on there, not because you have to, but that is something I do. And I advise everybody to get one of these here sets. This set right here. It got that little thing where I poured that in there.
Come over here.
Yeah, it got this where I poured that in there. It also got a thing where you can get the bubbles of air out of your canning. It got that, you pick it up, it got that magnetic thing in there. It got all of that you need. Here, it got all of that you need to do that can.
So that's everything you just used to do what you just did?
Yeah, I didn't use that. They would get the bubbles out. But it got everything you need. And like I said, this right here, this magnet and this, and it works so well. It works well. I've had one of these before and it didn't grip as well. But this one made by Balls, which is Balls make the jar of the canning also. It's a real good one. Questions?
What temperature do you can the jars? Medium, high? Or what temperature do you use? Or is it you just got to get the water boiling?
I just got to get the water boiling, and then when I get the water boiling, I put the tin weight on top of it. I put the tin on top of it. Once this water starts boiling, it's not, the steam is not, I feel the steam coming, but it's not coming like it's supposed to be coming.
Hold on, Mom.
You see the tin?
I'm trying to show them so that they just hear 10. If they get here, like they won't know.
Some of those pressure candles don't have that particular dial on it. Some of them will have a different type of dial on it. So whatever dial you got on it, you use that to go to whatever amount of pressure you need at your sea level. This right here is an old canner. I think it was made back in the 70s, and a lot of them don't even have this here old on it. I'm just saying the amount of sea pressure will still be the same regardless of what type of dial you use.
Yes, we use 10 because of our sea level.
I hear boiling now, so we're gonna go ahead and put the top on there.
So you put that on there when it start boiling?
I can hear it. Don't you hear it down the pot?
Yeah, I hear it.
I hear it boiling. I can hear the jars moving around. So I'm gonna put it on up there.
You just sit it on top?
You just sit it. My tin, put here. Like I said, yours might be different, but that's my tin. And so it just sits down there just like that. And when that steam get hot enough, you're going to hear it start to jiggling. Okay, we're going to go over here to this other side. And y'all see I keep my onion and all my stuff in a little basket here. Come on over here. You see a trunk right here is a family heirloom also.
It was about an inch and a half of water in the bottom of that pressure can.
About 3 inches, I said.
3 inches?
3 inches, about that much, at least that much in there. Get that much in there. But there's a line will be in there to tell you. It's a line in the bottom of the pot to tell you how high the water got.
Alright. I say about an inch and a half.
Go with an inch and a half, hon. Or go with the line in your pot.
It's an inch and a half.
Okay, here we go. Over here. Look up here now, y'all. These right here are dried beans. Y'all need to go to the store and buy y'all some dried beans because they last forever, especially if you buy these big jars and put the top on them. I bought these big jars right here. These jars right here are just for me to put my rice and my dried good in. These right here are pinto beans. I bought pinto beans. These are butter beans. These are pinto beans. I bought all these dried. And I got my sugars and my meal and flours up there. These right here are mixed beans, and these are black-eyed peas. What I'm saying is that whatever peas or beans will eat, you go ahead and buy those and stock those up because even if you got beans to eat, you got your proteins and everything you need in that right there. And these right here, you can stock them up in this glass and they can last. They don't have no expiration date. They just last. Now if you leave them in the pack, bugs and things can get into them, but you got them in this glass jar You got the top of it, can't nothing get in there. So that's why I ordered all these jars right here to put rice and all that in there. My kids didn't do it, but I did it in case it came a time where they needed it. I would have enough for everybody. So that's what this is. And I got, like I said, there are jars behind these, all of that. So this is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 24 jars.
Where you get the big jar from?
I went on what that was. It was on the internet. It was farm market, and they had the best price. They got them. I saw some in the grocery store today. They were like $13 for, I think it's 6. But theirs on there, what they had theirs like $9.99 for 6. And I ordered them offline because we had a large family. I had 7 brothers and sisters. Mama used to actually sit. She didn't can enjoy these sides. She can enjoy these sides because when she opened a soup mix, sometimes she would have to open 2 of these to feed her children. So
with those dry beans you have there, you just got those out of the bag and just poured them inside those jars just for storage.
I got those out of the bag and just poured them in there to store them for a long time in case I needed them. I look at a lot of prepping channels and all that, and that's what they advise people to do, to store like dried beans and stuff. Because see, you don't take that many dry beans. And like I said, if you can't get meat, the beans have the proteins in them. That's why they have beans on the wick, because they got the protein in them. They have beans that their family can get on wick, even wick. And we have, as a child, my mama, we have made many meals out of just the beans and her biscuits. We didn't have meat, we just had beans. She would cook a pot of beans. So you can live off that. Y'all got some more questions? Oh, and down here, I've been getting a lot of questions about this right here. These pickled peaches. A lot of people say that they never heard of them and all that. But maybe, I don't know whether it's a southern thing, but everybody in the South know what pickled peaches are. And they are peaches, and you peel the peach, and you put the peaches in there, just like I put those vegetables in there. You put them in there as many as you can, and then you put 1 stick of clove, 1 stick of cinnamon in there, and there's a mixture. I don't know exactly the mixture, but if you look at the recipe for pickled peaches, it'll tell you there's a mixture of vinegar and water that you put in there, and there's some sugar that you put in there too with that, and then you so look up that recipe and you cook it according to the recipe. And I tell you, Princeton had opened a jar and put it in the refrigerator, and he left one in there, and the season had got all through it, and I got out the refrigerator the other day, and oh, I have time here in this kitchen. And these right here, the reason I said tomatoes can last for a long, long time. Some of these tomatoes in the bag, they have been on there. They have been in these jars more than a year, and they're still good. They're still good. So you can make like soups, and you can make like.
Why can't the tomatoes last so long?
Huh?
How come the tomatoes last so long?
And not just tomatoes, everything lasts a long time. But
I
think it's the fact that the tomatoes got acid in there.
Okay.
I think it's the acid content in it.
Yeah, I'm pretty.
Because I think it got something to do with it. But you can make like soup mix. You can make spaghetti mix. Like you can cook your ground beef before. Actually, cook it before you mix it up and then can it. So you got, when you come home, you already got all you gotta do is do your spaghetti. You already got your ground beef and your tomato mix with, if you want onions already in there. You just mix that up, and that saves so much time. You can make salsa, all of that. You can grow that, what you call it, cilantro? Cilantro in your garden, and then grow the onions in your garden. You can make the salsa. You can make it how hot you want to make it, how mild you want to make it. You can make it to your specifications. So that's what's good about that. And I'm going to be making all kind of pepper jelly, because my pepper be coming in. Pepper jelly, I don't know if y'all know about pepper jelly, but pepper jelly is delicious with like black eyed peas and all those things. Black eyed peas, I'm sorry, I thought somebody was at the door. Y'all forgive me. But black eyed peas and all of that. So y'all ask me some more questions, because
I gotta ask you about 2 or 3 on them.
Somebody saying something?
Yeah, I haven't got. Oh, hold on. Let me find it. It was a good one. Oh, yeah. They want to know, what type of fertilizer do you use in your...
This year with that garden, this is a beautiful garden, I use 10-10-10. And I even noticed that, that's why I tell y'all to start.
You use what?
It's 10, 10, 10.
That's the name of the fertilizer?
That's the name of the fertilizer. Any fertilizer that got the mixture, the combination of 10, 10, 10. It got like the phosphorus and all of the different, but some of them have got, they got different numbers. So when you tell them you want to buy some fertilizer, tell them you want 10, 10, 10. The mixture of what they got in there is the same. Some of you might have like a 10, 14, and a 16. So they be different numbers according to, you know, the mixture of it, what they got, how much phosphorus in it, how much of whatever it got in it. But I used 10, 10, 10 on my garden this year. And what I was saying was, you can tell everything is getting where it's not that much. When I went down there, it was like the fertilizer. People were stocking up on the fertilizer. They're stocking up and taking it to their homes just in case next year they don't have the fertilizer. They'll have it for next year. So they for next year. And also the thing going on, they bought, if you couldn't get any baby chicks this year, they were buying up all the chicks that they could buy because they said they didn't know whether they were going to be able to get any next year with things the way the ones that like to hatch. All chickens babies. You got particular chickens that like to do that. Some chickens just lay eggs. The hens just lay eggs, but there are some that they get broody and they sit on the nest. They just sit on that and hatch the baby. So they were trying to buy up as many as they could of those so they could raise some chickens for eggs and to eat the meat if they had to. So that's what was going on this year. That's why I was saying, you know, you need to get out there about that. I wrote that post about 2020 in the family. A family, I mean, like, there's not going to be food possibly that we can get. And if it is there, it's so expensive. You go to the grocery store, everything is so expensive, and it will come to a point that we might not be able to afford it. We might not be. So when I saw a pack of ground beef the other day, and it was big, so I got that. They showed me how to can it. I'm going to go ahead and can that and put it on the shelf. I'm just going to put up anything and everything that I can put up. Because it's better to be safe than sorry. So that's what I'm doing.
How often do you fertilize the garden?
I fertilize my garden I didn't do it about 3 times this season. Because you can over-fertilize. And if you over-fertilize, you can kill your plants. So I advise whoever asking that question to go to those channels. They got YouTube channels, or go to those channels and look up how often should I fertilize whatever plant that you're interested in growing. How often should I put the fertilizer on there? Because like I said, you can put too much. Because what I did was I put too much water on some of my tomatoes, and I had to take them and I had to pray over them. I prayed over them and all that, and to get them back to growing and everything. Another thing, always pray over your plant, your garden. I don't care if it's in a pot on the porch. Ask God to bless that soil and bless your plant. Whatever you plant, and ask Him, let it be beautiful, let it just grow to His glory. That's what you always say. And if you're growing something, ask Him to let it be abundant and be more than enough so you can share with somebody else. Just share.
With they saw you do the vegetables, and they saw how you put the stuff in there and you didn't cook it. You just put the raw okra and the raw corn and all that inside the jars, but you didn't explain to them the twist that you have to do with the tomatoes. When you put tomatoes in the jar, there's a different process.
What do you mean, the taking the skin off?
Yeah, and boiling them.
Oh, tomatoes, what he's referring to, and I'm sorry I didn't, because I did prep before y'all came. If you all know, to blanch a tomato, you put a pot of boiling water on the stove and you put your tomato in there, and what it does in the boiling water, it makes that skin sort of split back, and you can pull the skin off, and that's called blanching. And you pull the skin back. And then once I pulled the skin back, I went to the top where the stem is, and I sort of cored that out because that's hard. But the tomato going to be real hot when you get it out of the water, so you need to let it set and cool before you do that. And then after I got it out, and it's soft and it's mushy, and then I take the knife and I chop it up. And that's how you have to do that tomato.
Okay, that's what they want.
Did they understand that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did. And oh, never mind. That was just a theory I had thought in my head. Never mind. About the fertilizer. fertilizer is different? Like 10, 10, 10, 10, 14,
Because,
16? You said they have different
okay.
amounts of phosphorus and stuff in them.
Some fertilizer, it's the phosphorus. That phosphorus make grow things and make the green and bushy and all that. And some plants, they want them to be like this. This is a whole bunch of bushy. So when it first come up, you can change. People change their fertilizer during the growing season. When it first come up, they want the plant to grow and be bushy and green. They put one on there. And I can't think of right off now what the other ingredients are, but it's 3 ingredients in there. That's why those numbers are like that. It'll grow up and be lush and green. And then when it start blooming, they cut back to another fertilizer, because if you keep putting that one on there with all that phosphorus in there, you're gonna end up just having, like I did down there with that lima bean plant. It's just beautiful, but it's just green and it's just like beautiful with 2 or 3 blossoms on it, so that it got no beans on it. So it was over fertilized. That's what happened to that plant.
Okay, and I have a question about a water bath. It was so far back, I done missed it so many times.
Somebody send some questions.
They sending questions. I'm trying to tell you. Don't make me have that. It's gonna be too many. Well, doing a water bath. Like, how much water do you explain what a water bath is when you're doing it?
A water bath is a water bath is that you can do it with anything. You just get a big pot that you got in your kitchen, and you fill it nearly to the top with water. You gotta have it full enough to cover that jar. You put that jar down in there, and you let it boil, and you let it boil down in there. I let mine boil for like 30 minutes, the same as I do over there. But you let it boil. It got to be like a bubbling boil. And then once you do that, you turn it off. And like I said, I take the tongs and you can let them sit there until the water itself cool if you want to, because they'll seal. Or you can take them out and set them over like on a towel or something and let them seal. But that's what a water bath is.
So a water bath is like the other version of the pressure canning.
No, it's not a pressure can. Water bath is just a big pot.
I'm saying, what are you doing when you're using a water bath? You sealing the jars, right?
You're sealing the jars, but like I said, you can do tomatoes like that, and you can do sweet things like that. But you can't do like the other vegetables.
The
like
raw
vegetables. They don't have enough acid in there.
Okay.
They have to have that because of the low acid content.
Okay. I got
So
you.
they need to look up what vegetables can be canned by water bath, and they will tell you specifically what vegetables you can can by water bath. They will tell you specifically how long to boil each one of those vegetables.
Okay. And they asked, when you do the tomatoes and you blanch them and the skin gets all loose, I've seen it done from watching cooking videos, but they asked, do you can you use the ice bath for the tomato to cool them off and make the skin come off?
Because what I do, I even like run the water in the sink and let it try to cool. That will help. That's a good thing. See, somebody know how to do it. Yeah, you got it going on. Yeah, you can. That will speed up the process. That will definitely speed the process.
Okay.
I don't hear this thing doing what it's supposed to be doing over here. Yeah. See, y'all hear? Now this is the old one, so it don't really do that little jingle thing, but I can hear. You can hear. Don't let it all out. You can hear that steam that's down in there. What it is, this pot, that water down in there, and the heat is making the steam, and the steam is like rotating around in there, around those vegetables, and it's cooking them. So we're gonna start the canning process. I'm gonna start it. What time? You got a time on that?
Time on what?
On your thing. What time it is?
I can't see it right now. I just see the comments.
Okay.
You talking about how long we been going?
I'm talking about how long this right here is. We're gonna start it like we're gonna start it at 30 minutes.
What you talking about right now?
I'm talking about for that pot there. I can hear the steam coming out of it. You gotta cook now for 30 minutes. It don't start when I put it on there.
Okay, you saying after you put it in there, you gotta wait until it steams.
I gotta wait,
and then you have to do 30 minutes.
I gotta wait until the steam build up. And because I could hear the steam when I did that, I know the steam has built up and coming out of there. that's when my 30-minute time will start. That's why I say it's going to have to take possibly, when we get through doing what we're doing, we're going to end the video, and y'all come back before y'all go to bed, and we're going to do a second video and show y'all me and my son actually taking our finished product that y'all saw we do. We're going to take all of it out of there. I'm not going to open it. I'm going to let it cool off, and I'm not going to open it until we come back on there. We come back on there, we're just going to open it and see our product, and we're going to look at it, and we're going to just pat ourselves on the back when we done canned this stuff.
How you pronounce your name?
Y-O-Ling. The O is heard.
So it's
Y-O-Ling.
Is Y-O-Ling?
Yes, it's Y-O-Ling.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what my mama's name is. Y-O-Ling.
Is the shelf life the same for all vegetables that are canned?
From what I've seen, yes, the shelf life. They said that once it's canned, if it's pressure canned, here, they say 12 months, and that will give you a chance to go into your next season, your next harvest. You will have something to eat while you're going into your next harvest, because you still have food for your family, and then your new crop will come up and you will start bringing it in, so you will have a new crop. So that's what it does. God has made everything for us to live off. We just don't do it anymore. We just spend all this money buying all this stuff, and we could just be out there and garden, and y'all it just feeds your soul. You're close to nature and close to God when you're out there. You just at peace. You hear the birds, and it's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. I went out there this morning by myself, and I just stand. I just look. I was saying, look at here, look at you. Ain't this something? It'd be like, just look at God.
I guess somebody came in kind of late and didn't see it from the beginning. They asked, do you boil your lids?
Yes. It's like a water bath, and you need to boil the lids and the rim along with the jars. What you're doing, you're sterilizing them, and you got to boil them in a boiling, bubbly water for 5 to 10 minutes just to make sure they're sterilized. If you don't sterilize them, then bacteria can grow once you put that the veggies inside that jar. Bacteria start growing inside of there because that lid and that jar hasn't been sterilized, and then you're going to lose your product. You might not lose it. It might look like it's sealed, but later on you're going to have a bad jar over there on that shelf. You might find it behind some if you got it stacked like mine. That done went bad.
Have something. You need to clarify this because this keep on popping up. Explain the difference between, I guess because I just asked about the water bath. What's the difference between the water bath and the pressure cooker? The pressure canner.
Okay. The pressure canner is canned with steam and pressure. The water is not, in the water bath, water is going over the jar. The heat of the water and the water itself is canning and cooking the vegetable or whatever you're cooking. And the pressure cooker, it's the steam that's rotating around. It's not, but there's much water in there, so the thing is not covered with water like in a water bath. It's the steam and the pressure that's pressurized inside of that pot. That's what cooking and sealing your vegetables. That's the difference.
Okay, so in a pressure cooker, you're using the steam
And
the pressure by using the little bit of amount of water, about an inch amount of water to go through and cook over the
it's rotating
around the jars, basically using air pressure and steam.
And the water itself is the hot water is rotating around
the water bath. So
the water bath is cooking.
The water bath is basically boiling.
Yeah.
And it ends up sealing it.
So that's the difference.
Okay.
Do they understand that?
Yeah, a lot of people saying they talking about the water bath. They say they use the water bath because they're afraid of the pressure cooker.
Well, I was once afraid of the pressure cooker, but then after I read
the pressure canner, my bad.
Pressure canner, I read and I researched and all of that, and I learned how to do it. What are they canning with the water bath? Ask them what are they canning with it. What are they canning with the water bath?
Somebody will respond in a minute. They didn't say specifically what they were canning in the water baths. They just kept asking about the water baths.
I know my mom and them, they canned in some water. They did can in a water bath, but whatever recipe they used, I don't know that recipe. Because she canned, and she would can like pumpkins, and she would can string beans and all of that, and she would just can them in a pot like a water bath. But it's something that you have to put in there. But the Food and Drug Administration, they don't approve that because they're saying that you would catch botulism because there's a chance that bacteria will be grown in there even though it's sealed, so they don't recommend that you do that. But Mama and them did it. They did it because they had to do it. They didn't have no. But I don't know that recipe.
Okay, and then somebody said they asked, is there any way you can tell that the canned food goes bad? And you said that when the top of the can pops and it's not flat, if you push it.
Also, you can tell if you watch your jars, that top will pop, and then around like bubbling like foams, you know, like something that's spoiled. That will be like a little foam around the top. It'll start acting like bubbling in the jar.
Okay. And then, is there anything that can't be canned?
From what I looked on the channels, and like I said, I researched, I wasn't, because my mama never canned meats and stuff. You can can fish, you can can venison, which is deer, beef, pork, chicken. You can can all of that. You can buy it like in bulk and just cut it up in little chunks like beef tips and can all of that. You can buy chicken breast, cut that up in for little pieces and cut that up and make chicken salad and all that. They're canning and put. So if you can can meats, I don't know nothing you couldn't can.
They the water bath, they do peach preserves, jelly, and pear preserves.
That got sweets in it.
Yeah, that's what you said. You said that.
Yeah, that's what I do water bath with that.
Yeah, you said that. You said that the water baths usually be for sweet stuff. That's why it's able to work.
Tomatoes. Yeah, tomatoes also.
Okay, yeah, you said that.
The sugar content in them don't let the bacteria and all that grow in them because it got so much sugar in it. So that's why you can use the water bath. And I said with tomatoes, the acid in there is why you can use the water bath. But if you make like a soup mixed with a tomato and add a corn and an okra or something else, you don't need to be putting it over there in that water bath. You need to put it in the pressure can.
Because they got the other vegetables in it.
Yeah, they got other vegetables in there.
Okay.
So you actually making sure those other vegetables are canned properly.
Okay. Because the tomatoes can take it.
Yeah.
Okay.
They can take it each way. You got it.
You tripping.
You crazy. Y'all.
Nah.
Excuse us, y'all.
Does it take less time to can using the pressure method versus the water bath? Which one takes the least amount of time?
The water bath takes the least amount of time. Cause see, like we sitting here, I gotta see it. Cause with the water bath, once you do that 30 minutes or however long it tells you to boil that particular vegetable, you take it out of there, you finish with that. But with that pressure can, once it finished doing it 30 minutes or however long, like chicken and meats and stuff, it takes like 90 minutes to cook those. Once you finish that, you gotta let that pressure, that hot, big, and it's thick metal, you gotta let it cool by itself. It gotta sit there and cool. So it may take like an hour or something for it to cool before you can open that top up off of it to get your canned and sealed vegetables out of it. So that's the that takes long. But see, that takes longer. And you could be done did a tomatoes or whatever. You can't do the other, like I said, the other vegetables in there. But you could be done did if you could do them, you could be done did a whole nother batch while you're waiting on that thing to cool. Now go over there and wait and let them hear.
This is 10 minutes in since we said we were gonna do the timer. And I'm not sure if you all can hear it hissing.
That's what they're supposed to hear.
Yeah, it sounds like a snake. There it goes. Listen.
That's what you're supposed to hear.
If you keep watching, this will start spinning because so much steam is releasing.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to hear. In actuality, you're supposed to start timing yourself when it does that. The thing is that we got a new stove and we just got it fixed. And I'm not used to this stove, so.
Yeah, that could be throwing it off. That's why you said that.
We got a new stove right here.
I ain't think about that.
Yeah, I thought about it because it wasn't getting hot as quick as it did. But that's the way it's supposed to be done. See how it makes the little thing? It jiggle around a little bit and it stop. That's when the 30 minutes time is supposed to start. So if you're doing it, wait until you're doing that little thing right there before you start timing your 30 minutes. But see, with my other stove, my old stove, that was the thing. It was hot. It would be done did what it's supposed to do. And this right here, though, it's pretty and everything, but it's the He like the other
Does
one.
that have something to do with the different types of what you said? The gas?
The gas is the same. It's still LP propane gas.
I thought you said something about something was different.
Something different was that they had it set up for natural gas, and we had to convert it to propane gas.
You don't think they could have possibly be doing that, like making it possible to where it could be a differential in between the heat?
I don't know, but it's still gonna do it. So here we go.
They
y'all
said,
got some more questions.
yeah. Do you think it's safe to can dairy butter?
You can butter.
Huh?
Butter melt when you can. So what you gonna can it?
So no, you can't.
I'm just trying to figure out. Okay.
They asked the question and you answer. You
okay, I'm gonna
answer.
answer the way I answered it. I don't understand nobody for canning butter. I know you wouldn't have to can butter. You could just put it in a jar or something. I don't understand why you would can butter because butter in the refrigerator is in a solid state.
Yeah.
So I don't know why you would can, but
I don't know. They probably just asking just to know. They don't know.
I wish I had some butter. Somebody made some real butter. Now real butter don't taste nothing like that junk in the store either. But I'm gonna look that up.
Probably not, because I don't think you should heat up dairy or butter that much. Because like you said, it would melt.
I'm gonna look it up though anyway. I want to know.
Okay. Do you can sweet potatoes?
Oh yes, you can can sweet potatoes. You can can turnip roots. You can can rutabagas. All those rutabagas, beets, and all of that. You can can all of that.
So you can can vegetables and fruits and meats.
Vegetables and fruits and meats, and you make jellies and jams
Yeah.
and all that. Yeah.
Okay.
You can do all of that.
And they said, I don't understand this one. I think they asking about the pressure canner. Could you let it cool overnight? I guess they asking.
If you didn't want to open that, and I could go to bed and just say, okay, I'll open it up in the morning when I get up, because I have done that. I know that I made sure that it cooked the length of time that it was supposed to cook. That was the only thing I was concerned about. It had cooked for 30 minutes. And then I turned my stove off and I went on to bed. And I got up the next morning and opened it up and took my jars out. Yes, you could do that.
Okay.
Definitely.
They asked about canning leftovers like chili, soups and beans. So
Yeah. Chili and soups and things. They asked me, can they put that in the same can?
that's after they've been cooked. So if they leftovers, they already cooked. So you wouldn't put them in the pressure cooker. You would just put them in the jars, right?
Well, you saying that, but when I did those greens, it was already cooked, so it didn't have to cook it. It didn't have to cook that. I never considered canning like leftovers. I never considered that. But I'm gonna look that one up too. You look it up too. That would be something good to add. Because I have a lot of leftovers, like leftover collards and leftover that, and that would be good to do that.
Okay.
But some canning you do blanch. You know, some people actually do blanch food, but I don't know about fully cooking it and just having the full cooking leftovers in it. I never seen nobody can that, but you possibly could. I'm gonna look that up.
Okay.
And I'll get back with y'all. Just post it on my page, different things that I looked up. I remember everything y'all said. And I'm going to make sure I look up the butter and different things y'all asked me, because y'all asked me some great questions. Ask it. There's no question that don't make no sense. Ask it, because if it came up in your mind, you need to know.
Somebody asked, the salsa has, I don't know, the question kind of worded differently. Do salsa have to be in a water bath? But
the salsa can be in a water bath, because salsa is tomato, so you could do it in a water bath.
okay.
You could do it in a water bath or that can, because I have made salsa. Sometimes we put onions in our salsa. We chip the onions up in it.
And you said if you put other vegetables in it, it's best to use the pressure cooker.
Yeah, but even with, you can make it. You still can do it. If he wanted to make salsa, heating his tomatoes and doing that blanching and that pulling that peel off his tomato, he could actually be done already parboil cooked his onion before he mixed it up in there. You know what I'm saying?
Like saute them and stuff like that.
Saute his onions and then I got scissors that I use in the kitchen. Instead of using the knife, I just put my onion or whatever I cooked in a glass bowl, and I take the scissors and I just clip, and then mix it with your tomato and all your flavors up. seasoning of your sauce and put it in the jar, and then you put it in that water bath. That will do that.
Okay. Somebody, okay. What they asked what brand pressure cooker would do you recommend?
I really don't recommend the brand. Like I said, that right there is a mirror. And the reason I got that pressure cooker right there is because I've been having it a long time, but it was at Goodwill, and I bought it for, I think it was about $8. That's the reason I got that pressure cooker. Pressure cookers normally cost about close to $100. They got some that cost up to $600. The kind of good kind like that with clamps and all that on them. But they got Presto and all different brands. So I mean, there's a site on the internet will say, you can ask them what do they the best pressure cookers, and they'll tell you what they got it for their listing thing. They're gonna go on up to that one that costs about $600. But that one there, it's been working just fine. It worked just fine. And I got pressure cookers, smaller pressure cookers that I cook they pressure cookers, not canners, that I cook my food in, my regular food on the stove. We cooking those daily. We cook our food because it cooks so quick.
So there's a difference between pressure cooker and pressure canner.
Yeah.
Okay.
The pressure cooker is just for cooking, like cooking food on the stove, your family meals.
You're just gonna cook
It's
it.
not for canning.
Okay.
It's not for canning. It's for cooking. Like I said, you can buy a special made pressure canner that is a cooker also for like a big, like somebody cooking a big pan for people, but a regular people at home would buy a pressure canner that is a cooker. You would just buy a small one, probably about an 8-quart one. That one there is a 22-quart size. That one there will hold, it will hold 7 quarts, and then you can put, I say about 8. If you got that separated, you can put about 8 tanks on top of it. But you can get something bigger than that will hold more than that. The bigger it is and the taller it is, the more you can stack in there. They have to stand straight up. They can't lay on the side. They have to be straight up and they can't be touching.
Somebody asked, I reworded, what would you think about doing cooking classes on YouTube?
Oh, you should be talking to him about the cooking. He been cooking it. My son been cooking it since he was about 20 years old. He really is the detail person who can cook. We can do one together because he is excellent in the kitchen. Excellent. But I would love to do that. That would be wonderful. When he was 12 years old, he got like cooking utensils and a recipe book for Christmas. That's what I gave him for Christmas, and he was so happy. So he been cooking a long time now.
Yeah, I want to cook for my grandma. My first dish was my first dish was baked pork chop, and I ain't gonna go into history of me. Can you use the pressure canner on a electric stove? That's a good question.
You can use it on an electric stove, but you can't use it on the one with the raised eyes. Those one with the flat like eyes.
You can use those.
What you call those? The flat top.
They saying you can use the flat one, but not the one with iron.
Use the one with the iron raised.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You can use that kind.
Okay.
Because those eyes are sitting up, but that one that's flat down.
Yeah.
It's like, what you call that top?
I call it flat top.
They said that the heat won't just be distributed enough to heat that pressure cooker up, that you can't do the pressure cooker on that. Because it was a lady on my site, she was saying that was the type of stove that she had, and that's why she couldn't use the pressure cooker. And I also saw it on the internet that you can't really heat it like it's supposed to do. Now a lot of people, which I had considered too, but with it being hot, you can go outside and get that gas thing that what you cook fish in, and you cook fried turkeys on.
Oh, deep fry.
Yeah, the gas.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The gas ring that be outside, and you can take it outside, and you can put that pressure canner up there, and you can set up your table out there if you wanted to go outside under the trees and do it. You can do it out there. Because I saw a lady on YouTube, what she do all her canning on her back porch, so her canner is there outside. So that's what she does.
Okay. You said this, but I guess they came in late. She asked when using the pressure cooker, can you stack them on top of each other?
If you got that divider that goes between them, and your pressure canner is tall enough where they can stand up. Cause I can't stand up like quarts on top of quarts because the quart jars. Let's show the quart jars.
This a quart jar?
Yeah, that's the quart jar. The quart jars are too tall, so it won't stand up. They can't stack up. They'll reach the top. But I can stand the quarts at the bottom and put some.
What a little bit? Oh, you ain't got a little bit
Yeah,
of
over there on the shelf. I can put some paints on the top of it.
The smaller jars are right here.
No, that's not it. That's quart.
I know I watched one.
That's a paint. You can stack those on top of there. So you could put two. You could put two of those set of rings if you want to do that.
And it just be like a circle little sheet that you put down in there with the holes, and it divided, and then you boom and boom.
Yeah, you could do it like that. And if you got a small family, I wouldn't use quart jars because you can always have some left over. If you just you and your husband, or you and maybe a small child, that would be consistent of a can of beans that you would buy at the store. So if you just use one can of beans, you would use that size jar, which is 15 ounces. Your family, you open 2 cans for them, then you know you got to open 2 of those jars.
Okay.
And 2 of those jars, which is 16 ounces, will be the equivalent of that big jar, which is 32 ounces, which is a quart. So that will be the same thing.
My my bad. Cousin Susie said it's a smooth top stove.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's a smooth top stuff.
Yeah, that
What
was.
is she saying about it?
She just told us what it was.
Yeah, that's
we
what
know.
it is. You right. I couldn't get it, but what did I hear?
That's Susie standing for my cousin.
Yeah, Susan, hey baby.
Oh.
Yeah, that's my book right there. That's my niece.
They asked me what I'm good at cooking. I cook. Yeah, I cook. I like cooking Italian foods. I don't know. My stuff always be different. I don't cook like just. It's not basic, but it's hard to explain. Like if I cook pork chops, everything I cook. I started cooking because of I used to go to my grandmother's house and used to watch Emerald. I don't want to flip the camera. I used to watch Emerald, and he inspired me to start cooking. And he had what he called the Trinity, which was bell peppers, onions, and garlic. So whenever I cook, bell peppers, onions, and garlic are gonna go in whatever I cook. Yeah, mushrooms too. And I mixed that up, and like I bake my pork chops, use Italian dressing. It's I can't say what style it is, but my favorite thing to cook is Italian food. I love cooking chicken Alfredo and spaghetti and chicken spaghetti and stuff like that.
He loves to cook that type of food, and he cook it for me sometimes. I cook southern food.
Yeah.
So if you want to know what I cook like oxtails and neck bones. I cook neck bones and I sprinkle a little vinegar on top and a little flour and put them in the stove and brown them. And oh my goodness, it's some pinto beans cooked down thick with that thick sauce in them and cornbread and slice of tomato from my garden, slice of onion from my garden, and some cold tea. Oh my goodness, that's the kind of food I cook.
Have you ever? And what do you think of these jars for candy?
Jars. They use those. I seen those jars antique. I didn't even realize that they still had clamp jars.
Okay.
I know. I never seen them, and they probably would be very expensive. I never seen them. I noticed that this year all the jars became very expensive because so many people were canning this year. They're very, very expensive compared to what they were.
Okay.
So if you can find any jar, they don't have to listen. They don't have to be new jars. If you can go on there's somebody like a channel like here, we got Craigslist and we got Marketplace and all that. Look for people selling jars. If they selling jars and you see them as a good price, make sure you take your finger and go around the top of those jars and make sure there are not any chipped edges on there. But buy up any and all jars that you can buy. That's why I got so many jars. I bought these jars. A lot of these jars, I didn't buy them just now. I bought them a long time ago from a lady in Raleigh that were boxes and boxes of jars down there. And I went down there and got them because my spirit told me, so you're going to need those jars. And that was about 7 years ago. You're going to need those jars. And these jars been sitting out there behind my shed for 7 years. And this year was the year that they came into the house and got washed and they got full of those vegetables. So If you can buy them some jars, just buy them some. Because you can eventually use them. And you will save a lot of money like that.
Susan said Mama used to cook neck bones and sprinkle flour on them and put them in the oven.
There you go. That's in our family, Susan. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's some people they know what neck bones. They know what neck bones are.
Yeah, they know what neck bones is.
How much time we got?
We got 6 minutes.
6 minutes.
Really 4. We got 4 minutes.
Ask them are they okay to come back. No, after they cool. But they're not gonna be here. They're not asking questions. It won't be good to be here that long. It's not doing anything.
They still asking questions.
Okay, great. If they want to visit, great. I love that.
Can you do water bath? Can you do water bath canning in a regular stock pot?
That's all you need is just a regular big pot with a lid.
That right there.
Yeah, regular big. Now this right here. This is what you can do water boiling. If you're gonna do a lot of jars, you can get that big pot.
Yeah, put up.
Well, I got a big one that I keep up there. See, take a picture of my stuff up there. I got a big one that I normally put up there, like you can cook a turkey in. So you could put like a lot of jars down there if you had a separator, and you just boil those in a water bath. But this right here could take like I take about 4 quart jars. If you filled it all the way up to about that short one ball over it, just had a rolling ball and put them in there.
Okay.
You can use just a big pot.
Okay. We did the check for the pressure cooker at 8 o'clock. Let me show y'all what it's doing now. Remember I told you it spins after so much steam is released and it gets hot enough. You can see it spinning, and if you look, you can see it's set on 10. Oh, it's flipped on the other side. But it's set on 10.
It'll turn, it'll stop, and it'll go back the other way. And what it's doing is that, the reason it does that is that it needs to stay at 10 pounds of pressure. And some kind of way they got to regulate that. When it's more than 10 pounds of pressure, it releasing that steam to keep it at that 10 pounds. That's what it's doing.
Oh, okay. Okay. I ain't never knew what that was.
You hear it releasing steam?
Yeah, I ain't never knew.
It'll spin and then it'll stop. When it stops, it's on that 10. But then it's going around, it's letting a little bit out at a time, jiggling to keep it at that 10 of pressure. And like I said, some people might live where they might use 5 pounds of pressure. Some might live where they use 15. You check according to your sea level. Down here, we use 10. So you need to check that.
Okay.
If you do use the pressure can.
Yes, the water covers the jars in the water bath.
Cover them completely.
In the water bath, you're going to basically put the water about right here to cover your jars depending on how tall they are. If you got the quarts or you got the pints, you're going to fill it up to cover the jars completely.
But let it on
But in the pressure canner, we put about 1 inch of water in here. So you're just trying to get it to steam. So what you're going to do is put about 1 inch of water, put your jars on the inside, seal this up, and then cut the stove on, of course, and it starts heating. So that creates so much space for the steam, and the steam circulates throughout.
Around the jars, and the steam is actually cooking. The steam and the pressure. That 10 pounds of pressure and the steam is actually doing the cooking. Of the water over the jars. The heat and the water is cooking in a water bath, so that's the difference.
Sealing and cooking.
Yeah, that the heat and the water is doing.
Okay, they saying they will come back, but they are still asking questions.
If they're asking questions, you can ask questions as long as you want to. I don't have no, I'm in the kitchen right here. What I'm going to start doing is just, y'all keep asking questions. I love this. I love y'all to be in the kitchen with me.
Some people just not get here and they late. They say they hate they late.
Because you're going to post it on the page.
I'm going to save it so it'll still be up there for them to be able to watch it.
Yeah.
They said, what if my head spacing is a little off?
What between head spacing?
I don't know. I'm confused on that one. Could they been talking about that as a head?
Tell that person to ask that. Whoever asked that question, tell them to clarify what they're saying.
Celeste Ginyard.
Tell Celeste to rephrase.
She heard.
Okay.
Please reword your question. I don't know what you mean by your head. I was assuming you're talking about that, but after you respond, I know so I can ask her. She responded, but she said sweet.
Well,
I don't know. She probably she responded to something else. The inches of space in the jar. Okay. Let me go back to what she said.
what about it?
What if the inches of space in the... Oh, it can be a little off. Long as the jars aren't touching when they're inside the pressure cooker, they're fine. Long as they don't touch. She asking about the space between the jars.
Okay. I want to make sure we get. I want to make sure she get the answer that she's asking for.
That was she had, the inches of space in the jar. She said they say it's to be a few inches of air left in the... Oh.
She talking about the foot.
Okay. My bad.
There needs to be at least an inch at the top of that jar. That means there's an inch where you leave the water, because if you put in that pressure can, you fill that jar all the way to the top. The pressure is gonna be so full. There's no room for it could possibly explode. If you feel it, there's no room in that jar for those beans or whatever you got in there to move around and cook. There's no room. The pressure, too much pressure will be in the jar. So you need to leave at least an inch in that jar, the top of that jar, at least an inch there. Down to, I say you need to leave it, you really need to leave it about right here. Show right on the jar. Leave it about right there. And that's about it from the top. Fill it to about right here with water and the vegetables right there.
And that's why once she put the vegetables in there, you saw her do this to pack it down, I guess, to get the space. So that's what she was doing.
So that's it. Leave it. Don't fill it all the way up here. That's why I pack it down. You need to leave it right here.
But it can be a little off, long as you have at least an inch of space. She said.
All your jars are not gonna be exactly the same. You might can sometime, and you take it out of the pressure cooker, and you might have put it in there at this height, but after the pressure can, your vegetable might be down here in the jar. But the vegetable is still good.
Okay.
That one is still good. It's just down lower.
Okay. She said she get it now.
Yeah, that's no problem with that.
Somebody asked, do you vacuum seal your dry goods?
No, they just in that jar with that top screwed on top.
She just took them straight out the bag and put them straight in the jar.
And it's screwed top down. I got rice. I bought like about 50 pounds of rice. I got grits. I got the beans, all the different beans. I got all that in there.
I guess they got here late. A pressure canner is different from a pressure cooker?
Yes, it is. And if you got here late, you still need to know. A pressure canner. Let's go over here. Wait a minute. This is a... Oh, we get my pressure cooker out of there. This is a pressure canner. It's for canning. Canning like the dog.
Hold it.
Canning.
Hold on, Mom. Hold on now.
Y'all bear with me. I got it.
Just hold it like that. The camera on this side, so you looking at it now. So
what about I want to do
I'm
this?
saying just talk. I'm finna get this.
Yeah, this is the pressure canner. He going in there to get you a pressure cooker. That one there is just for canning like the vegetables or meats or whatever you can. A pressure cooker is a smaller cooker, maybe up to 8 quarts. And I got one. Bring it on. That was the handle broke on it, but this is right here. I dropped it. But this is a show them. This is a pressure cooker. The handle is broke, but this is what a pressure cooker is. It got a top on top of it. It got one of these that be on top of it also.
This is the size comparison.
But this is for cooking meals like your daily meals. It don't pressurize it and cook it like pressurize and can it like that. It's a cooker. You cook the food in like the vegetables for your meals.
But you do put a top on it just like this, and it has something just like this on the top.
Yeah, it does.
So I mean,
what you looking for, Shirley?
I'm looking for the top. I don't see it on my back.
This right here is the top that goes on the top of this here. So it got a little jiggle just like that, just like this. But it does the same thing. It got a same top just like this. We can't find the top, but it got a little hole and steam does come out of it. But it's just smaller. It's for like a family. You can get a bigger one, but the average size is like 8 quarts compared to this right here, which the average size is 22 quarts.
Okay. I saw a question earlier. That was a good one.
And I hope I'm not boring y'all. Y'all just ask the question. Is it time for the turn this off?
Oh yeah. My bad. We 5 minutes overdue.
Here we go. We're gonna turn this off. And like I said, now the process starts of waiting the fire turned off, and so what's gonna start happening is that it's gonna start releasing that steam. You see, it released some now. See, it's not jiggling anymore; it's just sitting there. So what it's doing now, it's just releasing steam, and it says to let it cool down by itself, not to take anything off. So that take a long time. That's why I was saying, that you all want to make it a two minutes, at least 30 or 40 minutes to cool off enough for.
There you go, there you go.
Sorry, y'all. We live out in the country.
It's good.
We live out in the country, and we get some bad connection, but we're trying to get it through to y'all so y'all will know, because y'all need to. All y'all need to know. If you are old and you don't know, you need to know how to do this. This is part of our heritage. We as a people need to know how to take care of ourselves. And we can dig in some dirt. That's what we did for years and years and years, and we need to start back doing that.
Somebody asked, have you ever considered doing a book basically named Living Off the Land Southern Style and providing all the beautiful knowledge you have?
I've considered doing a lot of stuff like that, but then I don't know even where to start. I got so much inside of me that I don't even know how to start. No, I know how to do so many things I know how to do. Living off the land, surviving. To the fact that my children tell me they don't live in no more. They say if something go bad and something happen, we coming over there with mama. Because mama going to know how to go down where we need to go, take to the woods and whatever, and we going to be able to survive. So I got so much knowledge to know how to do different things, and I just don't know where to start. This right here is a start sharing this knowledge that I got with somebody. And I'm so happy that y'all here, come to see me, and I ask the questions. If you can't think of something, anytime you want to know something, just hit me up on Facebook. If I'm going to get to it, I'm going to answer the question. Just hit me up. Hit me up. Send me a message in my messenger and ask me a question. I'm going to answer it. Try to answer it best I can. Try to look it up and find what you need. Because I'm so happy that so many people are interested in doing something that I have a passion for. This is me every day, going out in the yard. Out there in the yard, I get up early when the sun rises. And go out there and start doing what I do. Not because I got to do it, because I love to do it so. And then it's providing for us. And I'm so happy that so many people are interested in it. I'm so happy that Doris, my friend, introduced me to the group of Black Girls Grow. Because I had no idea that there was even a group like this. And she introduced me to that, and that was a blessing. It was like people came from everywhere. And liking what I said and liking how I did it and all of that right there. So I'm just happy about that.
Yes, I'm going to save it when the live is over. But I think what we were talking about before the internet messed up. Oh, you saying that right there has to cool off.
It's coming off. The steam is coming out. See, it's not doing other jiggling anymore. But the steam is coming out. And they tell you don't try to remove that and help the steam come out. The steam need to cool off by itself, because when it's cooling off by itself, that's when the jars are sealed and the tops are going down. The cooling of it, they're so hot that the pressure, when it starts cooling, it sucks the top down onto the jar. So that's why they tell you don't let the pressure out.
Okay. So somebody asked, they asked about, do you have to use canning salt?
They will tell you to get sea salt, because they said if you don't get sea salt, it will cloud, make your liquid in your vegetables not clear, to make it cloudy. But I find that not to be true. I find that just use regular non-iodized salt. I did do some of my stuff with sea salt, but I don't see a difference in for its clouding.
Let me see. I'm going through reading the questions, and so that's what I was doing. Somebody asked, how far back have you traced your ancestors?
I've traced my ancestors back to my great-grandmother. I didn't go any further than that on my mother's side. Didn't go any further than that. I did it on the Ancestors.com. I did it on there, and I was able. everybody could do that, trace ancestors. Now my cousin Susie that's on there, she traced the side on my daddy's side back even further. She's really into ancestor tracing the ancestors and all that. She really into that.
Why you got that pot on right though? You forgot it. You didn't know it was on.
No, we turned it off.
Oh, I was just asking.
This right here is a water bath. This right here is a pressure canner.
Okay.
I hope I'm not boring to y'all.
Nah, Mama, they said you're not boring them. That's why I ain't even saying nothing. I was just letting you go.
Well, I hope I'm not.
No, you ain't boring.
Ask questions about my childhood, about my anything. I'll be glad to share it with y'all. Y'all ask me.
Can she can peppers in a bread and butter brine?
I never tried that, but I'm going to can. This year I growed all kind of different kind of peppers and I'm going to can some pimento peppers because I like to do a lot of that around Thanksgiving, like in my dressing and all that. And I got some down there coming up. They got peppers on my plants in my garden, so I got some little small jars. By that time, I'm going to can a lot of different peppers, hot peppers, and I'm going to make a lot of pepper jelly. I like pepper jelly. A lot of different peppers are going to be in the jars this year.
Okay, she said bread and butter brine. This just me asking a question now. Excuse me.
I probably never did that because, see, I like bread and butter because bread and butter is sweet.
I know.
But my family only like dill peppers. So when I do bread and butter, I have to eat all of that by myself. I don't like dill. I like sweet pepper.
I'm asking this question for myself.
Yes.
Okay? Bread and butter brine is just about like how you did those peaches with the clothes and the stuff.
It'll be like that.
So with that being said,
it'll be the same thing.
Okay, so did you pressure cook those or did you water bath those?
The peaches.
Yeah.
I pressure cook those because they're peaches.
Okay, I got you. That's why I just want to know. But
they don't have a lot of sugar in it like those that jelly and jam over there.
Okay, I was just asking. I just thought about. I remember when you did them. I couldn't.
Yeah.
I saw you putting the water in the ones we just did, but I remember I saw you put the vinegar and stuff in there. Okay.
We had to do that.
I got you.
I'm so glad you were looking because that means that you're going to know how to do this right here.
Yeah.
That is. I'm so glad. Oh.
Somebody asked how many children do you have?
I have 4 children. My oldest daughter name is Kim. She's 47. Then I have Vaughn. Vaughn is 45. And I got Bernadette. Bernadette is 39. And then I got my baby who's Princeton. He's 30. Be 31 in August. Babies.
Yeah, she uses them both depending on what she's using. The water bath and the pressure canner. Yes, she does. What is the one thing that you can that was a surprise on how well it turned out because it's not a typical veggie to can?
Well,
I guess kind of like the strangest thing used of them.
No, that meat. It wasn't a vegetable. It was that meat that I canned. No, I had seen it on I had seen that they were doing it on a video, and I decided that I had some extra meat that we had made. I had bought this what you call that thing? The best cut of meat. What you call that?
What you talking about? No, sirloin, prime.
The best cut, the little round piece.
Tenderloin.
Yeah, the tenderloin, beef tenderloin.
Yeah.
And I had some of that left, and I said, "Dog," I said they didn't eat all of it, so I made it in little chips. And this meat was cooked. It was already cooked, and I made it in little chips, and I put it in the jar, and I put it in the jar, and I pushed the can.
Okay.
So that was most surprising that it turned out as well as it did. That meat. So I know now that I can do some meat. I want to do some chicken too. I want to do some chicken breast, all of that. Yeah, I want to do that.
Somebody asked a question that made me laugh because you showed that, but somebody asked, do you know anything about have you ever thought about raising chickens?
Wait a minute now. I got some chickens out there. I've been had chickens for years. I told you I know how to do so much. I got chickens. I got 8 hens. No, I got 10 hens and I got a rooster. And they produce eggs. And as a matter of fact, I'm in the process. I looked on YouTube how to make up me an incubator and hatch some of those eggs. So I'm in the process of making that out of call it? Out of
That
styrofoam cooler.
Yeah.
A styrofoam cooler. But I got the roosters and the hens out there at my hen house. I have the chicken snakes out there that I have to get out of there sometimes, fight with them. So I got all of that. I've had the pigs. I've had all of that. So
You got ducks out there too.
I got some ducks out there too.
And they lay eggs too.
Yeah, they lay blue eggs.
So tell them about that.
Yeah, I got the ducks that lay the blue eggs out there. I got 2 ducks. They've been out there for a while. But I'm in the process. I'm gonna upgrade my chicken house and all that, so they have a bigger house. So, but I know all of that. That's why I say I got so much knowledge. I got so much knowledge in me, so I know all of that.
Somebody asked, have you ever pickled eggs?
Yes, I have pickled eggs, and I pickled some pig feet too. Yes, we did that. We pickled some sausages. We did all of that. I made some wine. We normally make peach wine and plum wine and all of that. We do all of that.
Somebody said, can we see your cameraman? He's doing a great job working with you.
Let me see. Let me.
No, mama, don't do
I
that.
don't let me see your head.
No, mama.
I'm very proud of you. Let me see it.
You can, okay, no more.
That's so silly.
It's not. I
If
just.
somebody want to see you, let them see you.
My name is Princeton Whiten, and if you go to the About section of her on her page, you can go to my page and see me.
Yeah, y'all can see him.
You see this stuff all over me? I've been cleaning up and all
Yeah, y'all
that.
can see my baby. He's about 6'2".
Mama, no, mama, please don't do
Anyway.
that. Do you ferment?
Do I ferment? What do you mean ferment? Do I ferment my wine? They use my ferment like that?
Yeah, they asking all the stuff you do.
Yes, I do the ferment with the yeast. Yeah, I do the ferment. Yeah, that's what he was talking about. I don't know exactly what he's talking about. With that.
Yeah.
I ferment.
Is that what you do, at least? Gonna go on ahead. You respond and I'll see it when I get down there.
I'm just checking to see how much pressure is still there. Still got a lot of pressure. But if y'all got some more questions to ask, then just ask the questions.
Somebody said they want to see me now, and Susie said he's handsome.
Yeah, he is, Susan. You know your cousin is. He said up there with looking cute, my little baby.
Stop, mom, for real.
Oh, well, then somebody said they want to see you. That's so silly.
Mama, I got this black stuff all on my face.
There ain't nothing on your face. It's nothing
It
on your
is.
face.
That's,
No, it's nothing on your face. Seriously, I'm looking at your face.
I'm all right.
But y'all ask me some questions because this child he don't want nobody to see his face.
yeah, wine. Yeah, she's done muscadine wine, plum wine, peach wine.
Any kind of wine we can get.
Yeah, every kind of wine you can think of. Basically, out here in the country, we get most. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, all you do is just we get the plums, whatever year we choose, we want whichever one, we just get them. My mama will get one of those big plastic pools you get from Walmart, and basically clean her feet up and do it the old-fashioned way and literally squish them with her feet. Then we get the juice, put them in 5-gallon buckets.
Put yeast in there and sugar.
Yeast and sugar, and let them sit in there, put the date on them, and alcohol ferments, and it's real good. What about moonshine?
We never did the moonshine, but we drank the moonshine. We never made moonshine, sugar.
How many eggs do you collect a day?
I have, like I said, I have 10 hens and
2 ducks.
I have 10 hens and I have 2 ducks, and so I normally get about 7 eggs a day. I normally go out 7. My hens are older now, so they don't lay every day. Normally, if y'all get them.
Speaking of it,
Where y'all get them?
we just got some in.
Yeah, they just got some eggs.
Y'all spoke it up, but yeah, they come out like this.
They come out like that. They might just went to the hen house.
These the brown eggs.
And those are they may look white, but they got a shady blue on it, a little shade of blue.
Duck eggs, and she don't want to talk about the ducks for no. I don't know why, but duck eggs take eggs to me. They're way more rich, and they have a bigger yolk. To put it in perspective, how can I explain it? Oh, okay, I know. The chicken egg white, the amount of chicken egg white ratio to the chicken egg yolk is the complete opposite of the egg white to egg yolk, duck egg.
Yeah, so you did.
I'm pretty sure
You just like yolk, y'all. You like the yolk.
Nah, but it's way richer though. Like,
You like the yolk, so.
yeah.
This it.
I like the whole egg. It tastes better.
Yeah,
Really do taste better.
you do, and I can't keep on the duck egg.
But then right here, we just got those for the day. But sometimes it varies. But that was like, we just got those. Y'all been out there today to get them? Or was that the first time?
I don't know what they've been out there today.
Oh, that's 7.
Yeah, so that's good with 10 hens, because all of them don't lay every day. If they're young, some of those young chickens, when you first get them, they lay every day. When they're older, they sort of slack up. They get tired.
Yeah. I'm with actually with Cricket, and I'm not using my data because we out here in the country, and I wouldn't be able to do this on my phone. So I'm on the Wi-Fi, so it would be more so the Wi-Fi. That's what's going on. They asked how many acres of land.
It look like I got like all this right here and all this right here. I have 4 acres of land, but I got a whole bunch of yard down there. I put my house to the back portion of my land in the middle, and so I have all the yard and all that out there for the garden. And we made a little pond down there, and whenever I'm able to, I want to put an irrigation system in the pond so it can have lines to water my garden. But right now, the way I water my garden is that run all the way down from the pump house down on the hill to each one of the gardens, and that's how I water my gardens. I keep them water. We got a well that it don't run dry. A country well out in the country, you know. That's how I water my plants.
Okay. Do you plant year round, or do you use a greenhouse during any time of the year?
I never use a greenhouse to plant anything, to harvest. I use the greenhouse to start my seeding, like start plants, like start tomato plants and start pepper plants. I'll start doing that like in March, so they'll be ready to plant when May comes. I start planting seeds. Like, I don't plant seeds like squash and cucumbers like you can buy some places now. You can go buy corn plants and watermelon plants and all that. I don't do that. I actually put that seed in the ground. The seeds that I plant will be like a tomato plant or a pepper plant or something like that. I plant collard plants, but like turnips, I sow those in the ground.
Somebody just said we breaking up so much, but ain't nobody else said that. I don't know. Let me know if we are breaking up. Like I just said, the Wi-Fi was messing up, but I'm not sure if everybody else is having that problem. We're located in Georgia. Let me know if there is a problem with the connection.
Tell me to let you know now.
I just told them they gotta respond more. What do you use in? You said it's okay. It's not bad. Not too bad. What do you use in your soil? Any particular amendments or fertilizers that you find superior?
I use 10, but this year I'm going to collect the leaves, from people's yards, and tell them I want the leaves. And I got me a good tiller. I got a Troy-built tiller that I'm able to crank by myself, and I'm able to plow with it by myself. And I'm gonna put all those leaves on top of my garden after I pull the dead plants up, and I'm gonna plow all of that back into my soil. So by the time planting season comes, that will have decayed and it will enrich the soil. So I'm gonna do that this year. And I also got a lot of chicken manure out there in my chicken house that I'm gonna put in there as a fertilizer. I'm gonna put it in there, and I'm gonna make some like what they call a tea out of some of that chicken fertilizer. That is when you put some of the chicken fertilizer into like a 5-gallon bucket, and you plants off of that, because chicken manure is so strong you can't put it directly on the plant because it'll burn the plant up. So you have to like water it down.
Wow. Wow. I was just listening to what you just said.
That's true.
I didn't say it wasn't. I mean.
Oh, you didn't know I knew that, huh?
Nah, it ain't that. It was just I don't know. Yeah, that was some good info. That That was some good info. Okay, yeah. They basically saying what we see.
Tell them I think in about a couple of minutes we're gonna be able to get this top off.
Yeah, I know. That's why timer went by. We about to be at 30 minutes after it's done.
Tell them I think.
Hold on, ma.
Tell them ask me something.
They asking. I'm trying to ask.
I will tell them that I was a registered nurse for 33 years and I retired. And like I said when I was down there in the garden, now I'm not making the money that I was making, but now I'm rich. I'm doing what I want to do. I'm finally doing what I want to do. I wouldn't trade this right here time of my life for nothing. It's just special, special, special.
Do you use any kind of tree? Do you use any kind of tree leaves? What are you asking, Miss Deborah? As in using the tree leaves? So she asked, do you use any kind of tree leaves?
That's what I was saying I was gonna get from everybody up there. I'm gonna tell them in the back. I'm gonna send all the people that I know who live like in Monticello, where I'm from, to tell them if they got leaves, not pine needles, but leaves from their trees. I don't really want the sweet gum. I want oak if I can get it. Oak or elm or something like that. I want them to, when they rake their yards in the fall, bag those leaves up.
Oh, okay, I got
bag
you.
those leaves up for me, and I got a little trail out there I done bought, and I'm going up there every Friday to pick up those leaves. I'm also going to ask them to make me some compost little sacks and put like the lettuce or any kind of raw vegetables into that sack and put it with those leaves when I pick them up. And I'm going to put that, like I said, I'm going to put it in a compost pile, and then I'm going to apply all of that into my garden.
Okay. My ears. She about to be able to take the lid off in a few. Share it and get people to come back to see her.
Y'all got the lid off.
She just took the lid off, so if you can get the people to come back that possibly left, it'll be great. I'll show you what it looked like on the inside.
That's what it looked like. And they still boiling.
Yeah, you see that little bit of water down there in the bottom,
but
like it's that
also,
low.
if you take the squash, you can see that they're boiling.
Oh wow.
You see that they're boiling.
Hold on. Oh yeah, I can zoom in.
You can zoom in and you can actually see that they're boiling inside the glass jars. They're cooking. They're actually bubbling, boiling in there.
I'm trying to get the light.
Let me take one of mine.
Oh yeah, they can see it. Yeah.
But I'm gonna take them out.
I know. I was just showing them while they was in the pot.
Yeah, we're excited about this too, y'all. We're excited about this. Here we go. You're gonna take this over here.
Oh.
Let me show you. Look at the boiling. You see the heat of it? Those are the okra. You see it boiling?
Yeah.
Those are the okra those are the okra that we put in the jar. And I'm gonna press here to show you. See how it's down? It's not popping.
No pop.
That means that it's sealed. Give me one of these.
If it was not sealed properly,
you make that sign when you press
it'll be like that.
You'll make that sign.
But it doesn't. So that means it's sealed, meaning that it's flat and all the air has been sucked out from the pressure.
Yeah. That right there is that one. Let's see what else we got.
Oh boy.
Okay. These right here are the purple hull peas. And like I told you, see how they cook? Now they look like they would if you cooked them in the pot. And you can see that they're still boiling. They're still cooking. So they got to sit over. You see them?
Yeah.
They got to sit over here and cook. So that right there is your meal. Look at that. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Look at that one. Look how it's boiling. Y'all see all of that? That's what it comes out that pressure cooker. These peas are boiling. They finish cooking and they cooling off. So if you like purple hull peas and okra, that is your meal right there. And now we're going to put some corn over there with it. We're going to do this time. We're going to put some corn. Let me put some corn over there with it. I'm going to bang. That corn is, oh my goodness, isn't it beautiful? Look at the corn, y'all. Oh, that corn is pretty.
Sit over there, man.
I don't want to put it on nothing cold.
I'm talking about sitting on there. Sit them.
Give me space. But that corn is beautiful. So now we got purple hull peas, we got the corn, and we got the okra. And, oh, the okra just boiled. Okay, let's see what else we got. Okay. Now we're gonna bring this here soup over here.
Somebody asked something about do you let your cans sit and cool upside down?
That one seal all the way upside down. No, I don't. Tell them I don't have to.
She doesn't.
No, they seal without. They seal all right without. They can recommend. Some people do recommend that you turn them upside down, but I never had to do that. She took a picture of the soup mix. See how it's boiling?
I just thought about it. Somebody had asked earlier about basically this, which is this soup mix. They asked about this with ground beef being put in it. And basically it'll be the same thing. They just will add the ground beef, right?
But you would cook the ground beef before you put it in.
Yeah, that's what they said. So
and they recommend that you put the ground beef inside you put it in a pan inside the stove and spread it out
boy!
That butter pea.
You spread it out what?
You spread it out. They recommend that you put it inside the stove on like a cookie sheet or something. You hear those popping? They cooking. They're popping down. They're sucking down.
So I don't know if y'all could hear it or not because she was talking, but evidently while this is bubbling, it's still boiling, and the pressure while this is going up is pulling the little bit of air that's in the top down, and it's making this go. What the lid is? It's making it go like that, and it's sealing like right then. It did like that. You might be able to hear it on the net when she sit down. I'll sit right here and not say nothing, or it may already. I would be out of the way.
Squash.
That's the squash. Let me get y'all some side views. Get them boy right there, boy. Ooh, oh, my bad. Got the okra.
And these right here are some spring beans. And where you see them raised after they cooled off, like they do settle down in the jar. This here, they do settle down. So like this right here gonna drop when it cools off. It gonna drop down just like these beans are down here. But you see, this is what we can. This is what y'all help me do. Y'all hear me? All my followers, this is what we can. Okay, I want you to see all of it. We got one more jar there. We're gonna take out of there. But this is what we did tonight. We can. Let me get the other one out there, and I'm going to go over everything we did. We pressure canned it. Excuse me. We pressure canned it.
You heard it?
It popped. It caught.
You put it right there, Mom.
And this right here is tomato. Like I said, it's going to go down. It's going to settle down in that jar when it cools. All this stuff is still bubbling. It's still bubbling hot. I don't even... Right here is not high enough. Yeah, I'm gonna put it there. We don't need to touch it. But that's tomato right now. So we did corn, which I think the corn and these peas, and these okra, that's just a meal right there. Then we got this soup mix, which is beautiful. They popping, they sealing. This is a soup mix. Peas. And then look, let them see how these here.
Well, I met Mom.
It's just cooking. Everything it's just bubbling. I hope y'all can see that. It's beautiful.
Yeah, she peeled the tomatoes, she blanched them and got the skin to come off, and then she took the skin off. And
but everything, as y'all can see, it's just bubbling. It's sealing, and it's finished. It's finished doing the complete cooking process. It's cooking some more, just sitting there, and it's just beautiful. A little squash, tomato, butter peas. Soup mix, and like I said, you can put some ground beef in whatever you want to put in there. You can put some onion in there, but I recommend that you saute the onions before you put it in there, because I have put onions and stuff. Like the onion, for some reason, it still have a crunchiness to it. It'd be like a rawness to it, even after I do that. So it's better that I saute it and then mix it in there with that. So that's the way I do that when I add onion.
The liquid that she used is...
It's just water. The water in the water bath.
When she sterilized these jars, she sterilized these jars by putting the empty jars and the lids inside the water, which was a water bath, and it sterilized them by heating up. And then she took the empty jar, if you go back at the video and look, she took the empty jars and put the uncooked fruit on the inside of the jar, and then she went back to this pot and she used that water that they were sterilizing in, and just scooped some back into the jar. But not the tomato, because the tomato make its own juice, and the soup they make their own juice. Yeah, tomatoes make their own juice. And the soup mix also.
with the okra, corn, and tomato. They make their own juice. But I had to put the water in the squash, the butter peas, the string beans, the okra, the purple peas, and the corn. I think the corn is just beautiful.
Yeah, she put like a little teaspoon of salt
I put a teaspoon
to
of
her
salt.
preference.
But you don't have to put any salt.
Yeah, you don't have to put any salt.
No, it's not a teaspoon. These are pints. It's a half a teaspoon.
Oh, it was a half teaspoon. I'm sorry.
In a quart, it would be a teaspoon.
Oh, okay. Quart will get a teaspoon, and a pint will get half a teaspoon.
Yeah, these are the size. Okay, this is what we did. Y'all saw me do that, and y'all helped me do it. And I just so thankful that y'all came to my kitchen.
So are there any meats are cooked first before canning?
Oh, from what I saw, you can put them in there raw, but you can't cook them if you want to cook them. You can't cook them. Because like I said, that meat over there, that beef sirloin that I had,
yeah.
I actually, it was cooked before I put it in the can. I even put the gravy over in there with it, so it would be like making if you bought a can of beef stew from the store in a can. No, you could, with the potatoes and all that in it. Okay. It would be like that.
Okay. Somebody asked, what's the percentage of those being cooked? Like, can you take those, eat them, or do you have to cook them some more to eat them?
No, they're done. They're done. All this right here is done. This okra is done. This is done. You can look at it and tell it's done. The corn is done. Now you could take it out. It'd be like if you bought a can of vegetables at the store and you could take it out and season it, because the only thing I put in there was a half a teaspoon of salt. So you could take it out and add seasons to your preference, but that would be the only thing you were doing. You wouldn't have to cook. You really be just warming it up.
Okay.
So that would save time for a family.
Somebody asked any spices or herbs in the jars, and that is no. She put a half a teaspoon of salt, but is it possible to put spices and herbs in there?
Whatever spices or herbs you want in there.
So season it how you want it to can.
You can season it to your taste. That's what I said about the salsas and all those tomato mix. You season it to your preference. Whatever you want to put in there, like
that long time ago when you put that.
You put whatever you want to put in there.
Like when you put that adobo and the tomato. That
yeah.
When
you put bell pepper. You can put whatever you want to put in your stuff, and season it how you want to season. Hot, or whatever season you want, whatever season you like, and then you can.
Okay.
You go through the same process we did after you put it in the jar, and be done at your seasoning. You let your seasoning mix it with your seasoning before you actually put it in the jar. So we have done the entire. That's pretty. We did the entire canning process. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I hope y'all enjoyed that. I hope we didn't bore y'all, but we did it and we showed y'all our eggs and duck eggs and chicken eggs and all of that, and we really enjoyed y'all coming into my kitchen. So hope y'all enjoyed it. And y'all got any more questions, y'all can just ask them online and whatever, however you want to do it. But this is our end product. I just want to tell y'all, I enjoyed y'all, and y'all welcome to come back again anytime. They said, like I said, ask me any question, just send a message or whatever. Anything y'all think I might know about fertilize and chickens or whatever, I'm here and I will be glad to answer your questions. So from my piece of heaven to all of my followers, this is what I ain't say. Y'all keep on digging in the dirt. See y'all.